All right, welcome to our Nison Candle Scanner information session. My name is Paul. I am the president of CandleCharts.com. Very happy to be here today. If you are watching this live, please type in any questions that you do have during the session. If you're watching this via recording, you can always email me questions, paul@candlecharts.com. You can also always do a live chat with any of our chat agents. Every single chat agent here are traders. Every single chat agent uses Nison Candle Scanner, so they can all answer questions for you. So for the people here in the room right now, if you can hear me, I know we're recording right now. If you could just type in hello, yes, just make sure that everything's working and that you can see my chart. If anybody in the room can just do that for me real quick, that would be great. Want to make sure that it's coming through on the recording. Come on, I don't bite. Anybody, just type hello, even if you did it before. Thank you, Daphne. Thank you, Ken. Very good. So what you see on the screen right now is Nison Candle Scanner on the NinjaTrader platform. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you a few things about just setting it up, how we use it, or a couple of ways how we use it. There's not just a few ways to use it. There's many ways to use it. And then for those of you that don't already own it, I'm going to show you a couple of special offers that you could take advantage of for a limited time. So again, what you see is Nison Candle Scanner. I have on my chart Bollinger Bands, which are the dotted black lines above and below the actual candles. I have a yellow midline, which is basically the midpoint of the Bollinger Bands. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove those Bollinger Bands. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to apply and hit OK just to make it a little bit more clear so that we can focus more on the Nison Candle Scanner. Below here I have a regular volume indicator just showing me how much volume we have. I like using volume just to kind of reconfirm if a candle pattern is really as strong as it looks, depending on how much volume that we had there. This is the Dow Jones. This is Nison Candle Scanner that can work on any market that you have data for. So if you have data for cryptocurrencies, Forex, commodities, futures, stocks, ETFs, anything else, as long as you have data provided into NinjaTrader, Nison Candle Scanner will work on it. As I showed you, Nison Candle Scanner is an indicator. Notice I have Nison Candle Scanner here as an available indicator. That means it's in the whole list of all of these other indicators that work on NinjaTrader. Now, obviously, you have to purchase Nison Candle Scanner. Once you do and you install it, then you can configure it. Configured means that here on the right side, notice I have Nison Candle Scanner highlighted here. I have all of my different candle patterns that I can have and a few different things. Now notice on each candle pattern, I can choose either yes, no, or strict. For those of you that are not familiar with what strict criteria is, Steve defined candle patterns and then he redefined them even on a stricter basis for things at a higher level, meaning more defined criteria. So for example, if I wanted to find a bearish engulfing pattern, okay, I'm just going to cancel that. Notice right here is a minus E. I just clicked on the minus E. Now look down here on the left, bottom left of the chart. I'm going to put my spotlighter here. If you're not sure what a minus E means, right there in the red spotlight, if I click on that, it will tell me what it is right here in the bottom left. Okay. This is the abbreviations. As a seasoned candle charter, I like having abbreviations on here. Now, if you're brand new to using candles and the Nison Candle Scanner, what I'm going to show you is a little way to get going. On the Nison Candle Scanner in the properties, I'm going to come down here and where it says use pattern abbreviation, I'm going to unclick that, click apply, hit OK, and now I'm looking at the exact same chart, but it will tell you the name of the pattern. So right here before, it was a minus E, which identified it as a bearish engulfing. If I don't want to do that, I can just unclick the abbreviations. It will show me a bearish engulfing pattern. Okay, so now let's go back to indicators again. And let's say I don't want to look at every doji, and I don't want to look at every high wave. Notice right here, we're at the bottom of this chart. Hopefully you can see my mouse moving. It says high wave. By me saying no and I click apply and OK, the high waves are no longer identified, and neither are the doji. So the bottom line is, if you want any format of any combination of the candle patterns, you can say yes, no, or strict to that candle pattern. You can have the abbreviations or not. Okay, you can change colors. You can do a whole lot of different things. You can even do on price change or on bar close. So why is that important? If you do it on price change, as that specific candle is moving in live real time, let's say it becomes a bullish engulfing pattern. It will be identified as a bullish engulfing. But let's say the next minute it moves down, it's no longer a bullish engulfing, it would not be identified as a bullish engulfing. That would be on price change, meaning it's going to calculate each candle pattern in real time. If you put on bar close, it will wait for that specific bar to close before it identifies it as a whatever candle pattern. So why is that important? Some people are looking at 1 minute candles. Some people are looking at monthly candles and everything in between. So up to you. I like having it on price change. I'm going to go back. I'm going to put my abbreviations back on. I'm going to click apply, hit OK, and I'm back to the chart. So now it's back to having abbreviations. I took off all of the high wave candles. I took off all of the doji, and I have a cleaner chart. Now, if I want to go back in and add other indicators, I can always go in. I want to add my Bollinger Bands back on. I hit apply and OK. There's my Bollinger Bands. Notice they now came up with goldenrod lines. If I want to change that, very simple. I come down to Bollinger Bands. I can change my upper band to, let's say, instead of goldenrod, I can pick, let's say, black. Apply. So now my upper Bollinger Band line will be black. It is really that simple to customize your charts and to be able to really make it whatever you want. Some people like MACD or Fibonacci's or moving averages. You can have as many other indicators on your chart as you want. What I want to do today is really focus on the Nison Candle Scanner. Okay? So this, what you see on the chart now, this is going to be what we call highlighting. It will tell you where candle patterns are. And again, you could turn on or off any of the 28 candle patterns. You can also make any of them strict criteria. Okay, this right here, I'm going to click on that. Notice down here, it'll tell me that a plus H is a hammer. Okay, now if I said I wanted that strict, notice we have a little upper shadow right there. So if I made that a strict criteria hammer instead of just a regular criteria, that probably would not be a hammer because we have the upper shadow. There are regular definitions of candle patterns and then there are strict. Why is that important? Well, I'm going to show you what I use as a market analyzer. Okay, so my first market analyzer, this is the scanning part of utilizing Nison Candle Scanner. This means that I have a scan set up. Some of you are familiar with what I call my bouncing ball trade setup, where I look for hammers on a daily chart and then I look for a retest. If you have questions, again, please type those in. I know I'm going through a lot of information pretty quickly. So if you have a question, I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. So on daily charts, this is the S&P 500, all in alphabetical order. On the left, this is my instrument. I can have it as many columns as I want. So I can have other indicators. I can have a moving average crossover. I can do all kinds of things. All I wanted to find out with this market analyzer was, did I have a hammer on a daily chart in the last 8 days? Last 8 trading days, I should say. So here's my list of the different stocks in the S&P 500 that had a hammer. Now, if you don't want to just have to scroll down, all you need to do is click on Candle Chart Scanner, and it will show you in alphabetical order those stocks that had a hammer. Okay? So look at all of those hammers that possibly fit my criteria for my bouncing ball. Well, if I really wanted to, I can have another column or even replace this one column with strict criteria hammers, which might be a better fit for what I'm looking to do. So if I have too many hammers, which we're going to be getting a lot of them, or we had a lot of them because of all of the downtrends, if I want to minimize that list, I want to get me a list of the higher probability trades, I can switch into strict criteria on my candle chart scanner market analyzer. I hope that makes sense. A lot of people always ask, why would you use strict criteria? Well, if you had 100 hammers and you don't want to go through each one, well, just make it strict criteria. Now, notice this red box here on my market analyzer. Hopefully you can see that. I also have a red box here on my chart in the upper right-hand corner here on the chart. I have linked my market analyzer to the chart, which means I can click on any one of these instruments and the chart will happen. So watch, I'll pull up Citigroup and automatically I have the chart of Citigroup up. Let me move that market analyzer and here's my chart of Citigroup. I can go back to my market analyzer and I can pick any other market and see that chart. Why is that important? It just saves time. You don't have to type it in. You don't have to look at another chart. You can just keep going and find as many stocks that had a hammer that fit that criteria. Now, some people like that idea. Some people don't. Some people think it takes too long. You can have this scan on any time frame you want. So during the middle of the day, if you wanted to scan for 15-minute candles for hammers, you can do the same thing. You just change the criteria in your scan. Now, when you purchase the Nison Candle Scanner, we give you access to all of this information, how to set up a scan, how to set up the highlighting, how to do the original installation and everything else like that. So that is one scan. We have another scan I set up. This is the S&P standard scan that I do just on a daily chart of all of the different candle patterns that happened today. Now I have this in real time. So if, for example, I wanted to find a rising window, notice I also have this linked. If I click on REG, notice that we had a rising window. You can identify it here on the right side of the chart with the plus W. That means that we had a rising window. If I looked this morning at around 10 a.m. Eastern time, I would have had a lot of rising windows. But as soon as that window closed, it would no longer be on that list of having a rising window. So this means that today, REG had a rising window, and I can be able to go in there and I can identify if this is something I might want to trade. You could do this during the day. You don't have to wait till the end of the day. It just happens to be after the US stock market closed. Notice all of the bullish candles that we had today. Obviously, we had a very large up day today in the market. A lot of bull sashes, a lot of rising windows, a lot of other bullish candle patterns. Now, let's just say I just want rising windows. This, I believe, is the NASDAQ 100. And here is, again, I linked it. I'm going to click on that one. And this is something that I was looking at before. Why was I looking at before? Let me move the market analyzer. And if you notice what we had here, we had support line supported by, and I'll put my spotlight on. We have support, support, support. This was resistance here, became support. Look at that rising window right at what was resistance, became new support, and look what is held each time. Well, we had a candle right at a lower Bollinger Band. We had a rising window. We had another rising window and another rising window. This is a trade I actually did. I had strong support. I had a few different other indicators showing me what happened. And because I saw this on the market analyzer today, I knew even after we had a red candle yesterday, look what we had. We had a pretty strong red candle yesterday, but it was still a rising window. So I was still in the position, and look what happened today. We had another rising window. But look what we have here where I drew in this upper blue line. We have a resistance area from an engulfing, from a window, from other things. So would I want to exit? Possibly. I've definitely moved my stop up, and I've definitely locked in a nice profit here. So far, I've showed you what Nison Candle Scanner can do as far as highlighting. I've showed you what you can do with it as far as scanning, and I've shown you a couple of different indicators of what it can do as far as adding other indicators. There is a lot more that you can do with Nison Candle Scanner, but what I want to do right now is show you a couple of things of what is included when you own it. So this is a page that we have specifically to show you all about Nison Candle Scanner. We recently added a brand new crypto module. That means that we have identified crypto signals, and Nison Candle Scanner has now been adapted to work on crypto. So if you trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other crypto, Nison Candle Scanner automatically, whether you buy the monthly, the annual, or the lifetime plan, will be able to modify itself directly onto crypto. Those modifications also work on Forex as well as intraday. Notice that intraday charts will act differently, Forex charts will act differently, crypto charts will act differently. Candles work the same no matter what chart you're looking at, but there are nuances that you're going to want to know. All those modules are included when you buy Nison Candle Scanner. A couple of special offers, just so you're aware. First, we offer monthly, annual, and lifetime plan. If you're ready to have a lifetime ownership of Nison Candle Scanner, we're allowing you to purchase it using coupon code PROFIT, 20% off, so the price of $12.95, which is already reduced by another 20% down to $10.36. You own that forever, lifetime, including upgrades and updates. Now, if you think you like the idea, you're not sure, you want to try it out, what we are allowing you to do is if you register for the monthly plan by this Saturday, July 23rd, you can buy it for $249 for the month. And at any point before your monthly renewal is ready to go, we will allow you to upgrade to the lifetime plan with two things. One, you would still be able to get 20% off of the lifetime, and we would credit you the $249 that you paid for the first month towards that lifetime. So if you believe you want to own it for lifetime, you could start today with monthly, and you could upgrade to lifetime, and your total cost would be that same $10.36, as long as you purchase the monthly by Saturday and upgrade to lifetime within that first month of your ownership. I'm hoping that makes sense. When you purchase Nison Candle Scanner, we give you access to your account inside of Candle Charts Academy, and we have a video showing you how to do the installation. We have a PDF that walks you through step by step how to install. You can either install NCS Pro for anyone, or if you also own the 4-volume mega package, we upgraded you to the NCS Pro SE. That's only for owners of the 4-volume mega package. Your license key for NCS will be there. We have an hour and 8-minute video on best practices, how to get it set up, how to change things, how to modify things, and everything like that. We have a trade setup template in case you want to go through a trade idea. We have a whole video on me doing the bouncing ball. We have videos from Steve on strict criteria on his blast-off trade and his power window trade. We have other bonus training on setting up international indexes. If you need a review of the 28 candle patterns that are included, you can watch that video. And if you're new to charts, if you just need an idea, we have an hour-long video on that. We have other installation if you're a Mac user, how to install it onto a Mac, and a quick reference guide showing you what each of those 28 different candle patterns are. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting the link into the chat. As I pull up Nison Candle Scanner again, I just put that link in. So in case you are interested and want to get going, there's the link. You can click on that. It will take you right there. Remember that lifetime offer. If you use the code PROFIT, you'll save 20%. So let's talk about data feed. I know we got Frank who asked a question before that he is a Thinkorswim user. So am I, Frank. So the way it works is I'm going to pull up the Nison Candle Scanner and the NinjaTrader Control Center. What this does, it allows you to do anything. If you want to create a new chart, a new market analyzer, or any of these other things, excuse me, you can go there to new. You can create a workspace so that you always have your same setup every time you log in. And then here's the connections tab. Okay, notice Frank and everybody else, my connection, you see a green dot here next to my TD Ameritrade. That means I'm currently using TD Ameritrade data. If you don't click on the word connections, you can see that same green dot in the lower left-hand corner of the NinjaTrader control panel. That means I have live data. You can connect by clicking configure, and it will show you a list of all of the available ways to get a data feed. Now, for those of you in the US, just one little tip, if you open a TD Ameritrade account, you can then connect TD Ameritrade real-time data into NinjaTrader at no cost. Okay, so I have two monitors. On monitor 1, I have Nison Candle Scanner with TD Ameritrade data feed, and on monitor 2, I have Thinkorswim. And I execute my trades through Thinkorswim, but I use the Nison Candle Scanner to find trade entries, find trade exits, do all my scanning, and I just simply use Thinkorswim for my executions. Frank, I hope that helps, as well as anyone else. But if you don't want to use TD Ameritrade, there's multiple other ways to get a market data feed. I want to get rid of that. Andre is saying, will NCS be available as web-based version or other platforms other than Ninja? Andre, currently Nison Candle Scanner works on NinjaTrader, TradeStation, and Trade Navigator. Okay. Tim is saying he's been using it for 15 years and it works great. Frank's saying, so TD Ameritrade connection, not TOS, but put in trades there. Yes, very helpful. Yeah, Frank, so it's a TD Ameritrade data feed into NinjaTrader and then execute into Thinkorswim. There you go, Frank. Glad that helped. So the Nison Candle Scanner does a lot of things for you. I didn't even touch alerts. I didn't want to touch alerts. Daphne's asking. Good timing, Daphne. Yes, you can have audible alerts with the scanner. I'm not going to really touch on that just because it gets a little bit more detailed. We do have instructions on how to set up those alerts, and you can do that. I do use audible alerts that pop up on my screen if something were to happen that I set up beforehand. So the Nison Candle Scanner, what I was getting to, really does highlight for you. You can do all kinds of combinations of scanning, as I showed you in the Market Analyzer. There are so many ways that you can scan, and there's so many ways to do this. GM, can I execute trades with Fidelity? You can execute trades anywhere you want. The idea here is with the power of Nison Candle Scanner on NinjaTrader is by its own a very powerful software tool. You can execute your trades separately through any brokerage account. So if you already have an account somewhere else, keep trading there. You don't need to trade through Ninja. You can. There's a way to set up a trading license. So if you wanted to trade directly into your TD Ameritrade account from the NinjaTrader chart, you can. But we don't really use that here. So GM, if you have a Fidelity account, I would recommend that you keep trading through Fidelity, but you utilize the Nison Candle Scanner on NinjaTrader, even if you just open up an account at TD Ameritrade just to get the real-time data into NinjaTrader, if that makes sense. Now, hopefully that makes sense right there. I just had a couple of people ask for specific charts. Let me pull up. Somebody wanted XLK. So here's a chart of XLK on a daily. Remember, I can put this on any time frame we want, but there are a lot of different things. Notice what we had here. We had, everybody know what the minus E stands for now? It's a bearish engulfing pattern. We had a bearish engulfing pattern yesterday. The top of a bearish engulfing pattern should count as a resistance line. So I'm just going to draw that in. And yes, NinjaTrader has all these great drawing lines and tools and everything like that. Notice that I drew it in at the top of the bearish engulfing, which was the top of that shadow right there. But look what we had right here. And before people go too crazy, look, we had a falling window right there, right? So my resistance zone, we just entered it today, but our resistance zone on XLK is all the way to the bottom of this candle right here. Now, if you need to see what it is, I can show the data box. And the low there was 136.30. So that would be my next resistance line. But notice, I'll get rid of that. Notice we also had a rising window right here. So that would be a resistance zone if we happen to get above. And of course, there's always going to be the next support, and there's always going to be the next resistance on these kind of charts. But this should give you a little idea. We closed above yesterday's bearish engulfing on XLK. Again, this is a daily chart. You know, we can look at any time frame that we need to. If I wanted to switch to, let's say, a 15-minute chart, I just pull up the 15-minute chart, and there it is. Showed us that we had pretty good strength. But notice what happened here. Towards the end of the day, we had a bearish engulfing on a 15-minute chart, and then our candles got pretty small, right? We got a few doji. You know, we ended up with a 15-minute doji, which can happen. But if you notice a few things, what did we get on these last, say, 4 or 5 candles? We had higher highs, right? We had pretty much higher closes, maybe not that one, but we had a higher close, and we had higher lows. Kind of good signs, and we stayed above that midpoint of the Bollinger Bands. We didn't quite get above that yet, the top Bollinger Band, but there's a lot of different clues that you can get with the right education and then apply the great software tool of Nison Candle Scanner. Got a couple more questions coming in. Somebody just asked, can I put the link in there again? I shall. Give me one moment. Just copy that. Paste that in. So again, because somebody just asked for that offer again, you can purchase monthly, annual, or lifetime. The profit coupon code of 20% off only applies to lifetime. It does not apply to the monthly or the annual. We have the ability, if you sign up for the monthly plan today through Saturday, you would be eligible to upgrade to that lower priced lifetime. So you could try it out for the month. Frank, you're going to just send me an email, Frank, paul@candlecharts.com. Frank wants to take advantage. Just send me an email, and shortly after the session's done, I'll send you a link. You can take care of all of that. And we are going to get a lot of people like that start out with monthly and want to upgrade to the lifetime. You can certainly do that. You can certainly also just jump right into the lifetime plan. Notice everything that you get. You get the upgrade to the NCS Pro, which again includes the Forex module, the intraday module, the crypto module, any upgrades and any updates that ever happen to the software are included. So when we first started using Nison Candle Scanner with NinjaTrader, it was on NinjaTrader 3. Okay, that was well over a decade ago. NinjaTrader 8 is their most current option. So we went from NinjaTrader 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 with all the upgrades and all the updates. They're always included. So as they update Ninja, as we update modules or we update any other candle patterns, for example, like the strict criteria was not included initially. We added that in a little while ago. There's always going to be a new upgrade or update, and those are always going to be included for you. You do not have to repurchase the software in the future. If you have other questions, I'd be happy to take those. I know that there's a lot of people asking for specific charts, so we'll take a look at a couple of charts right now. I'm just going to flip back to a daily just to make it a little bit easier. Someone was asking for Tesla. So look what we have on Tesla here. And I see a couple of more questions. I'll just go over Tesla real quick, and then I'll answer some more questions. Notice what we have here. We had a big move down in the Bollinger Bands, and then we had a tightening of the Bollinger Bands that we have now, right? So we're getting into kind of a box range here. Now, Tesla is obviously something that will be affected by news. We all know that. We know Elon gets into the news on a regular basis between his lawsuit and not having a lawsuit. There's a lot going on this chart. Notice this big falling window that we had here. That was a resistance line, I'm sorry, that we got above, but we couldn't get a confirmation close above that. We had a move above, but then we had to move down, and we haven't gotten back above that since. We had a couple of bearish engulfing patterns, which kind of are holding. So notice that bearish engulfing pattern here kind of was held. It was tested a couple of times last week. We are getting higher lows, if you notice that this week, the last week or so. And again, I see a whole bunch of questions coming in. If you stick with me, I'll get to all of them. Just finishing up on Tesla here. If you look at a monthly chart on Tesla, obviously we had a meteoric rise and then a pretty hard drop. And if you notice where that line was drawn in by me, it stays on that chart even if I switch time frames. So I'll just flip to a weekly just to take another look. And look what we had. We had a line that was resistance. It held. It changed, what Steve calls a change of polarity. It holds that line, change of polarity. This is now a support, which was resistance. It held. And as soon as it didn't hold, guess what? That support line became a new resistance. So again, candle education combined with the Nison Candle Scanner is a fantastic combination to help you identify charts. Okay, let me hit a couple questions. JM saying, does Ninja 8 work on a Chromebook or Apple? It does not work on a Chromebook. It's a little too powerful for any Chromebook out there. It does work on Apple, not on iPads, but it'll work on an Apple MacBook and laptops and things of that nature. We do offer installation instructions specifically for Mac users. Stuart saying, arrived a little late, will NCS ever be on TradingView? I'll never say never, but as of right now, there is no plan, Stuart. We do not have a plan of having it on TradingView. I'm not saying it won't ever happen in the future, but I will tell you that people who own Candle Scanner on NinjaTrader, anytime there is the opportunity to move it to a different platform, will certainly alert you to do that. So you can purchase it now. Again, there is no plan to put it on TradingView, Stuart. Hopefully it's clear on that. I know a lot of people ask about that. It's just, again, the Nison Candle Scanner has different functions that kind of give TradingView a little trick, and it doesn't really work that well currently. That doesn't mean it won't work again in the future. Again, never say never, but as of right now, no plans. Somebody just asked for the Dow Jones. I was looking at the Dow Jones before. Let me pull up the indexes. There's a Dow. So what I'm going to do, just to make it clear again, I'm going to actually remove the Bollinger Bands just to make it a little bit easier to see the candle scanner. Okay, so that was a line I drew in before, right before we started the live session. Somebody asked for the Dow. I drew the line in just because look at how we retested this resistance point a few times. This is back the end of 21, entering the beginning of January of 22. Notice what we got. We got a green candle. So right here on a weekly chart, we had a nice green candle with an upper shadow. Now, we had a higher high, higher low, higher close in the prior candle. So you're thinking, okay, this is good. But that upper shadow is just the first clue. What did we get the next candle? Well, it's a doji with a long upper shadow. This is what Steve calls falling off the roof. Yep, Frank, you got it. The lows. We had a falling off the roof, meaning during this week, we had a move above that resistance line. So you're thinking during that week, wow, right? Maybe we got to move above that. We got really strong. But then what did we do? We fell off the roof, meaning we closed below that line. So you're still thinking, okay, not a big sign that I need to get out or that I need to go short or anything like that. But then what did we get the following week? We got lower high, lower close, lower open, lower low. Gravestone Doji. Good job, Frank. Right? And then what do we get the next candle? Again, same things. We don't have any upper shadow. We don't have any lower shadow. We had a strong red candle week right here. Again, this is back in, looks like the end of January, maybe beginning of February. And you could drill down and you can see all that if you wanted to. And then you start seeing yourself, okay, we got a green candle, and a red candle. What did we get right there? Well, I'm just going to do a ray this time, right? So we got a lower resistance line. Sorry for that not straight line. Right? We got back up, but we couldn't get a close there again. So our resistance point actually dropped, and then it dropped, and then it dropped, and then we had big moves down. So if you had the Nison Candle Scanner back at the end of 21 into the beginning of 22, you would have seen a lot of these signals. Okay? You would have been able to identify that. And again, by clicking on the indicators, you can add any of these other indicators that you want, and you could customize any of them. So I know a lot of people like moving averages and different things. There's all kinds of things inside of NinjaTrader that you can add, and realize Nison Candle Scanner is just an indicator. You purchase it from us, you install it. It takes just a few minutes to install if you follow the instructions that we provide to you, and then you have it for lifetime. Okay? Stuart's asking, will be a recording of this webinar? Yeah, absolutely. We'll be sending out the recording shortly after the session is done. Okay, Stuart. So these are the indicators. You can customize the Nison Candle Scanner. That's really what today's session is all about. If you don't like looking at tweezer bottoms or three white soldiers, you can just turn those to no. For example, hit apply, and you would not see three white soldiers listed. If you only want hammers, you only want engulfing patterns, you only want windows, you can just say yes to any candle pattern that you want. Okay, you could change colors. Here's where you would enable alerts. And then, like I said, you could change it on price change or on bar close. And you can look back as far as you want to go. If there are any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those. I see a couple people ordering the candle scanner right now. Remember, what you're going to get is a few things. You're going to get access online inside the Candle Charts Academy with all the resources that I showed you before. You can always call into our office. You can always email into our office. You could always do a chat with any of our chat agents. Remember, all of our chat agents use Nison Candle Scanner. We don't just hire chat agents to handle, you lost your password. We hire chat agents that understand how to use Candle Scanner and how to trade with candles. So our whole team are able to help you out. I just put that link in so that you can take advantage of the special offer. I hope today's session was a little bit helpful. And what I'm going to do now is just end the recording and then stick around for anyone that has any other questions. So again, thank you for attending this live session. If you're watching this via recording and you have a question, my email, and I'll type that in here, paul@candlecharts.com. And I also have that link in there as well. Hope everybody's great. Enjoy the session.